So this is game 2 between awoodenbox and RabidSquirrel. They're both playing 5th Panzer, and you should see their decks now. Right, so this is the deck review for awoodenbox game 2. He's playing the same division 5th Panzer again, and the only difference I see is in his air tab. He's gotten rid of the F-104G helicopter hunters from the first game, and he's replaced them with an F4F anti-tank plane for the second game. Everything else is identical, so I'm not going to bother going through his deck again. If you want to see the deck review, just watch the first game. From the second game, he played 5th Panzer in the second game, and so I'm going to look at this deck. Once again, I can't see the bottom of his tab. I think it's because this fills the tab. So, I've spoken a lot about the logistics tab for 5th Panzer in the first game, if you want to see that. Basically, I don't rate this one. I mean, yeah, I suppose you get 3. It is very slow, costs 100 points, and you can only get 1 card. This is the better CV, but you only get 1 card. So yeah, bring this. Okay, yeah, fair enough. The choice is between this and the car. So the car costs the same, it's faster, but it has less than 1 armor, which means it can be killed by machine guns. So if you're trying to walk something in to a zone, then yeah, maybe this is the one to bring. Or a tank. Let me just skip ahead to the tank tab. Okay. I mentioned before about these logistics trucks. It's expensive, it carries a lot of supply. It's fast, sure, but if it dies, you've lost it, you've only got 3, whereas these guys, cheap and cheerful. You can buy them in 2s if you want. Very slightly less efficient on a total number of supply basis. This is 5,000, this is 5,250, I think. But still, I prefer the car. In fact, I just bring 2 cards of the car. So yeah, once again, the car is actually more, you get more supply per point on the car than you do for this thing. You're paying for the armor, but you lose speed, although the off-road speed is higher. Just something to think about. Infantry, 2 cards of Pioneers. Yes, good. They're coming in the Fuchs Milan. Last game I saw a Fuchs Milan Donker tank, so maybe it is worth it, but I personally am of the philosophy that if I'm bringing in close range infantry, I would like my transport to complement my close range infantry, which in this case is cheap as fuck, so I can sell it and buy a new one. So I can buy 2 of these, right? So 65 plus 30, let's say we keep this. I think you have to keep it, I don't think you can sell it. Please tell me if I'm wrong. So 95 points, whereas I'm paying 65 points because I'm going to sell this. So if we're having some kind of horrific meat grinder in the town, the guy with the cheaper transports is going to win. Zickerungs, I didn't talk about these in the last deck review. I like them a lot. They're very cheap, 30 points, 11 strength, and they shoot people with their G3s. They don't have a machine gun, so they're not as good as Jaeger. But they're, you know, almost half the price. Almost half the price. Something to consider. You get 12 in a card, that's another advantage. And right now, okay, so let's see if I can. Yes, so if poor experience should mean that your rate of fire is less than 15%, your chance to hit is minus 25%. This hasn't been programmed into the game yet. So this is something all the pros know and they're not telling you. This hasn't been programmed into the game. So even though these guys are untrained, so they receive no buff, it's actually the same, because look. Chance to hit minus 25%, accuracy 39. Jaeger, chance to hit plus 0, accuracy 39. Maybe it warrants further testing, maybe it's just not reported on the unit card, but it is programmed into the game. Just something to consider. Milan, in the Milan transport, yeah, so I disagree with this. A lot of people think Milans, I'm buying a Milan, I want a Milan, I can get my Milans with my Milans. Look at the stealth. The Marder 1A3 Milan, when it shoots, will be revealed to the enemy because it has bad stealth. the Milan 2 on the ground shouldn't be revealed to the enemy because it has exceptional stealth. So if these guys are next to each other and they're shooting, it's the difference between your enemy knowing where you are and your enemy not knowing where you are. So I would prefer to get them in the car. It's personal preference. I agree with getting the Milan for these guys. It's a medium range infantry squad with a medium range transport. Can I? Yeah, there we go. So they complement each other. And then, yep, I think Jaeger are better than Panzer Grenadier and 113, as we discussed previously. Armburst, I like Armburst. They're good sort of medium range. I don't think they shoot infantry. I mean, it says they do, but I don't know if they do. But yeah, 20 fire rate. They're good for holding down corners and stuff because they can just spam out a bunch of these, shoot every 3 seconds and kill your enemy's light transports. In this case, do I agree with bringing them with the Milan? Yeah, I do, because this transport complements this infantry. It's medium range anti-vehicle, and it's got a medium range anti-vehicle transport. Panzer Grenadier Carl Gustav in a Marder 1A3 non-Milan. I suppose you can't get it with the Milan. Interesting squad. Is it worth it? Is 2 penetration and 1 strength worth it? It might be, actually. I think it is worth it. I personally would just keep spamming Jaegers, but that's me. Artillery, yep, good bringing the mortar. These aren't particularly good. Artillery will get buffed, hopefully. One hopes right now. But yeah, they just don't do anything. So typically your artillery is for smoke, and you've already got artillery for smoke. You just got to think to yourself, do I want this? Or do I want 2 of these? And usually you want 2 of these for the same price. It's even slightly cheaper. Right, tank tab. Yeah, cool. So he's gone for 1 set of max upvetted leopards and then 8 not as max upvetted leopards. Cool. And he's upvetted is 1A5s and not upvetted is 1A1s. Yeah, I'm of the philosophy that these 2 tanks are absolutely busted right now, and so you want as many as you can, so I downvet them. But difference of 2 units, does it really matter? These guys, do you ever buy 9 of these? If you do not buy 9 of these, upvet these. And then 4 tank CVs, I think that's a bit overkill, to be honest. So 4. Oh, I see, there's no infantry CV. So yeah, that's 10 CV. So yeah, maybe it's not overkill, maybe it makes perfect sense because there's no infantry CV. Recon, yep, the Razit. Some people really like the Razit, some people better than me bring the Razit. I do not like the Razit because even though it has exceptional optics, it has mediocre stealth, and so people see it and blow it up. So it has to be further away, so it can't take advantage of its exceptional optics. But I guess if you're doing a big armoured push, or a big anything push, then yeah, it can be in the middle, and it can hopefully not get shot while providing exceptional recon optics to your push. So I can see the utility. Jaeger Aufklärer, I don't know what it is. They're the best, gotta bring those, you're bringing those, that's good. And then actual infantry for recon, yep, fair enough. It's tough fighting without the Lux, without the recon helicopter, but there's so many good choices here. AA, Roland 2, good job. Everything else has been discussed in game 1. Fliegerfaust bad, Gepard's good, Roland 2 better than Roland 3 because the Roland 2 is non-radar, which means if your enemy's bullying you with seed, as we saw in the last game, the Roland 2 will save you. Some people bring the Fliegerfaust instead of the Roland 2. If you're playing second, there is no Roland 2, so you have to bring the Fliegerfaust. This is bad, no one brings it, and they are right to not bring it. No helicopter. Okay, so that's tough, right? So if the enemy has an armoured breakthrough against you, there's no you don't have a helicopter? 2 AV? I personally would... this is only 1. Okay, so you can play around with things and try and get to a state where you can bring a helicopter. But yeah, they're not amazing, and so if you're going to rely on your air tab, then that's fair enough, really. Yeah, so seed, cluster, light anti-infantry, anti-vehicle, and HE. It's fairly standard. There's no anti-air capability, but right now the German anti-air capability isn't very good. The missiles are 3,800 meters, so yeah, it makes sense not to bring them, really. Right, so WoodenBox going for a rush here. Sadly unloaded this one too late, so the enemy does get to this town first. The guys on the left get to the town first. So one strat I saw was somebody unloaded here, and then when my car came down here, he just blew up my car, and then I lost the game because then I had nobody in this zone. So yeah, fairly standard opening in this 5th mirror. Half clearers around the side, looks like they've been spotted though. Yeah, we'll see if anything comes of that. Fight here, 11 men versus 4 men. Don't have to tell you what will happen. And yeah, once again, so you got infantry here. Well, why not push the boundaries of your recon and see the zone? But it looks like the main focus is down here, where RabidSquirrel is killing WoodenBox's somewhat forward deployment. Infantry backed up by fire support versus the exact same infantry not backed up by fire support but in buildings. So he's forced to pull back so these tanks don't blow him up. Cheap little flank tanks, I guess it's just fire support, right? 40 points. People can have a great deal of use out of this, because if you think that this is almost twice as much as that. So here we see the same number of points actually, roughly. 3 units of infantry against 2 units of infantry, and these tanks that are just over half the price of the infantry. And you see the effectiveness of it, right? So yeah, I guess the case is to be made for the 40-point tank here, which will probably kill this Lux if it ever manages to hit it. I see it was firing at the flank tank back there. RabidSquirrel, he's got recon going backwards. Does he predict enemy heli play? Perhaps, potentially. Maybe he's just going to put it here so we can see. And he's using his infantry, he's using his transports to scout, so now he knows that there's nothing here. So that's smart. Squirrel clearing up this forward recon. These guys should be running in the opposite direction. Although they're caught out in the open here, I don't really think they can do anything. Points fairly similar. Pioneers coming in to secure the north town. Right, Pioneers in the south. The Zickerungs just to provide meat for the machine. So that's they're very useful because of how tanky they are. 11 strength, but Jaeger's 55, so you can get 2 Zickerungs for 1 Jaeger. This case is to be made for both. So Zickerungs, obviously you shouldn't be using them to fight alone. They're just to beef up your force. So that's 100 points. That is 140 points. So you would expect this to win, but it is more stuff. As we spoke about in game 1, I don't agree with the Panzer Grenadiers against Jaeger. Jaeger are better because they have 2 more men for 5 points, 2 more men. I prefer the Jaeger. But depending on how this is microed, the Panzer Grenadiers might win because it's 2 against 1 here. Right, well, at least it will be once these guys get here. There's half Clara back there. They didn't actually die. Can I get over there? It's not working. We'll have to leave these two. Right, here we go. Yeah, so the Pioneers are going to clean up. Got recon back here. Smart. The weapons are on. You want to put them on return fire. Down here, I believe. Otherwise, somebody passes and they start shooting. Whereas if you're on return fire, you'll only fire if you've been fired at. And if you've been fired at, well then, look, the gig is up anyway, right? They know you're there. So, Box, smart, trying to save one of his units. Running away. Running towards. Running away. So it's a misplay to come back because he knows there's more stuff here. And also these guys have equal... Oh, I see. He was spotting. He was spotting for his air. So I take it all back. That was a really smart idea. Is he spotting again? Or right, so... Yeah, Box has got this locked down, but I would love to see the boundaries of the zone secured, because your enemy has a foothold here. And if you can push him off this, then there's a big open field between you and where he's coming from. So it's imperative that people try and just push their enemy off this if they're on the right side of the map. Deny your enemy this foothold, and then he has to come from here, and then you've got that locked down with Milans, with Leopard 1A, 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 1A1s. These guys blobbed up. I'm beginning to see the case for them. Obviously I said they're not the best thing ever. Seed from RabidSquirrel. Once again, he knows WoodenBox's deck does not have the Roland 2s. And so he's going to continue to take advantage of that while having his own Roland 2s. More of these fire support tanks. So these should be reversed a little bit because this guy's trying to kill you. But there is a push happening here. Hard to keep everything in mind. Very happy to see the supply. Supply is units. This guy's got supply. Supply is units. These people should not be in the open. If you want to engage, are they on attack move? They are. Just run them forwards to the nearest tree line, or run them back to the nearest tree line, and then shoot. Don't fire while you're in the open. Like, don't stop and fire while in the open. You're in the open either because you want to gain ground, as in you're going somewhere, or you're running away from somewhere. So, yep, good bombing pass. This, will it die? Huh, okay, very lucky not dying there. Against this Gepard, I don't think could shoot, this Roland could shoot. These Alpha clearers have been hit. They've lost a HP. So I guess that's why... Right, well we'll have to catch up on this later, but I agree with this a lot. You've been shot, you need to get... You've blown something up, it seems. You've been shot, and now it's time to run away and live to fight another day. Squirrel coming for a push at exactly the same place we saw the push from last game. So what happened to the 10 million transports that were here? Did they all die? I think they might have done. And so yeah, we're just seeing a repeat. We're just seeing a repeat of last game. Secure your borders, guys. You're going to be attacked. You need to be here. You need to be here. And then that way you see stuff coming. Fire support. Maybe this should be closer. Maybe there should be something here. This should be cleared out. Obviously it's very hard. You don't have infinite points, so I can appreciate that. But right here we have an issue where, so WoodenBox, he's got all the town fighting infantry a man could ever want. But we're not in the town right now, we're in stage 1. Stage 1 is securing a foothold. Stage 2 is the meat grinder. Stage 3 is pushing your enemy out. So these are stage 2 infantry when we're in stage 1. So he's already lost stage 1, right? There's no conkers here, there's no... is that going to hit? Nice, good. He's going to make it out. Good play. Very good play. So yeah, here comes the stage 1 infantry. Here comes the edge of the map, medium range fighting infantry, which is good. Is it too late? We'll see. And here we go. It's the exact same push, but the players are on the other teams. So I'm very happy to see no smoke here. All these Milans can now fire, and that's exactly what they're doing. So the Leopard's been brought up. You have overwhelming fire superiority. Don't ruin it by shooting smoke at yourself. And here we go. So the Pioneers have to get close to shoot, but well, what's this? You know, these guys are just going to fuck him up. That was Seed. The Seed isn't being shot. So this alerts Rabid Squirrel. He knows this is now an AA free zone. There's no AA here until, even if it's bought immediately, it's going to take, what, a good 30-40 seconds. So you know what's coming next. It's going to be a whole host of bombers. And here we see good play from Rabid Squirrel. Good play from WoodenBox. He knows that he can't hold, so he's running away. Oh wait, where's he going? Okay, so if you can fight next to a building or you can fight in a building, fight in a building, because it gives you more cover, so you live longer. It also gives you more line of sight. And try to spread out as much as possible. This is going to die. Yeah. Another, but that did die, and this survived, so that was a good trade for Rabid Squirrel. Tornado's still up, and there's no AA. A mistake people make is that they're like, the bomber's coming and they start reversing. You reverse slower than you go forwards. So sometimes it's worth going forwards, even though, you know, you get closer to the enemy, but you'll win. Or you can turn left, turn right. You don't really have time to click behind you, because then it'll turn around on the spot and then you'll die. But it survived, so, you know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this push from Rabid Squirrel. He's got local fire superiority and he's taking his time with it. Seed's still up. Enemy Seed? Will that get these Gepards? It got one. This one was switched off and now it's been switched on. Yeah, so all this time he's not in the zone, but he's winning. Squirrel is winning. And the reason he's winning is because he's got more and more and more of this fire support, and WoodenBox is dying every time he tries to push him back. Because he's got close quarter infantry, and Squirrel's just got lots of everything. What I would love to see is a supply truck. It is coming. Yep, 2 supply. Command zone lost. So this guy's in here now. And it's essentially a reverse of the last game. Yep, so he's not got enough recon, so he's scouting with his face. That's perfectly fine, as long as you've got lots of guns behind you. And, you know, I've spotted something, and then you kill it before you die. And so great play here. These guys need to be pulled back. There needs to be more infantry on the way. Where are your points? Okay, so Box has decided that it's too much here. I'm gonna attack here instead. Because, yeah, this is really good push from Squirrel. He's got all his fire support, and he's not pushing into attack. He knows he can't take it. He presumes there's loads of shit here. There isn't actually that much. And so he just sits on the edge with all his tanks, and every time WoodenBox came out to try and kill him, he would just get minced up by these guys. And the counter-offensive has begun on the other side. Got Panzer Grenadiers over here with no anti-air. So you know what's going to happen next. These guys are still in the transports. This Leopard's out of position, this Milan's out of position, these guys aren't helping. But it's easy for me to say that when there's a massive fight going on up here. So yep, smart on the supply. I would have brought 2. And now we'd be buying lots and lots and lots of infantry. There's infantry coming in, but now I see that. Squirrel knows that he's being attacked here. He knows about this. I'm very surprised that there's no bomber here. This mortar should be shooting all the time, If you don't know where stuff is, just bomb the enemy's reinforcement line, because, you know, there might be something coming. And this is smart. Does he see it? He might see it. And yeah, this strikes me as almost a desperation play, right? This push is not ready to begin. He's got the infantry, but he doesn't have any anti-air. He doesn't have enough fire support. Meanwhile, there's enough of everything here, apart from anti-air. Well, yeah, there's not enough anti-air. And by stopping here to resupply, resupplying is good, but by stopping to resupply, he's given Rabid Squirrel time to go, time to reinforce. And there's just not enough units here for this to work, but I guess he doesn't know how much is here, and so to him it probably seems reasonable. Up here, Rabid Squirrel has secured the outskirts. He is now moving into the centre of the town. And yeah, he's taking his time with it, because he's got the point advantage, so he can. Here come the bombers. I'm not sure this one dropped its bombs. No, it didn't. And yeah, there's just not enough here. There wasn't enough preparation time because of this, right? And that's game. So yeah, GG to both players. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the cast. It's always interesting to see both players lose to exactly the same tactic